Yeah, welcome to yet another episode of CNE TV Interview Session, a program where we invite innovators, stakeholders, influencers in the blockchain, cryptocurrency, and fintech ecosystem to come air their view on the state of the ecosystem. So today I have an amazing innovator who is joining us from Denmark. They really did an amazing achievement. They really achieved something great recently. So joining me today is Jack Nikogosian. Jack Nikogosian is the CEO Arise. He's joining us from Denmark. Jack, you are welcome to CNE TV interview.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to having you. How is Denmark today?
Oh well, Denmark is actually pretty cold, but I'm personally very happy. We you kind of teased it a little bit, but of course we completed a almost $1 million funding round and are ready to really accelerate on some important stuff. So I'm excited. Our team is very excited, and even though Denmark is raining, it's still a happy day.
Yeah, I want to use this opportunity to congratulate you. Congratulations on the achievement. It's a very nice one.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a
Okay,
lot.
so yeah, so in case some people that may not know you, maybe they don't really know much about you. So I would like to get just a brief about you and your background before we proceed with the interview.
Absolutely. Should I just say a few things? The company we're talking about, Arise, has since 2017 been on a mission to create what we call digital cash. Um, in all honesty, the way that money works on the blockchain, a so-called stablecoin, today is not good enough. And money in the bank is, in all honesty, also not good enough. That is why we have so many people around the world who suffer from financial exclusion. And Arise, being from Denmark, one of the most digital countries in the world, we believe that we have the know-how in how we can create a solution that bridges the gap between the banking world and the world of blockchain and cryptocurrencies. And eventually, our goal is to enable financial services and financial tools that are built on next generation platforms like we see from blockchains or cloud native banking. Personally, I've been involved in the realm of fintech and cryptocurrency since 2013. I ran the Coinify Innovation Lab for a few years. Coinify actually also today announced that they got acquired for $84 million. That's very, very nice. And I'm very proud of the whole team. It's really cool to see. But I was running the innovation lab at Coinify. And back then, all we had to work with when building something was cryptocurrencies or legacy banking. We didn't have a programmable version of money, like fiat money on a blockchain with the same agility as programmable money should have, like Bitcoin or Ethereum. So Arise got funded or started with the mission of creating this, what we call digital cash, a one-to-one version of government money, like cash in our hand, but where there is no risk about its solvency, its backing, its authenticity, or its ownership. And yeah, that's kind of how a very short version of how I ended up with Arise and doing these
Okay,
amazing things.
okay, that's very nice. I wanted to ask you about Arise and the solution you're bringing, and you have already answered that. So I would like to know what really, before we go into the fundraising and the discussion around it, what really inspired you to start Arise, and how has the journey been so far?
Well, when I did when I was with Coinify as the head of innovation, I was also partly in school at a business academy in Copenhagen, where I was studying innovation and entrepreneurship. So I was running the innovation lab and studying entrepreneurship at the same time, which was really awesome because I could use some of the tools that we learned in the academic circles for actual professional work with Coinify. But the reason why I left that company and wanted to create this digital cash was because of the fact that as modern and agile and programmable as cryptocurrencies were, they were still extremely difficult to understand for regular people. And of course, they were very volatile. The prices of Bitcoin goes up and down, and therefore it is not very practical to use as where some people argue that there was the initial intention of Bitcoin as a day-to-day version of cash. But the volatility of Bitcoin, I quickly realized that it makes it extremely intangible to deal with. In 2015, I tried living only 1 month only on Bitcoin. And well, if I had kept those Bitcoins today, instead of paying for food and bicycles and whatever else I bought during that month to deal with life, well, I would have been quite wealthy today, just from saving and storing those Bitcoins. So I came to a realization that we needed something stable, like something we trust, like the dollar or euro or pound or global reserve currencies. We need to have a version of those existing with the same agility as we have with Ethereum-based tokens or with Bitcoin or with other cryptocurrencies, so that innovators and business people can build new solutions on top. Whereas whenever we tried to build a new solution in the Coinify lab, all we had to deal with was kind of the traditional cryptocurrencies, which in themselves are amazing. But now, more than a decade since then, where are we today? Fewer shops in Copenhagen accept Bitcoin than they did back then when I worked with it. And we're moving more and more towards what Arise has been seeing for the longest time, that we're going to have something that resembles a CBDC, like central bank digital currencies, and stable coins with proper backing models where they're backed by fiat in the world of banking. And this is what Arise has been spearheading for the past 4 years. And I think that to answer your question, what inspired me was the realization of how analog and slow the world of banking is compared to the world of cryptocurrencies. And I came to a realization we need to bridge this gap between these two universes. I think that's...
Yes, nice one there. I know you very well what it really inspired you. Let's discuss around the fundraising. Your Arise just raised almost $1 million from investors. First, I would like to know, how do you feel about that particular fundraising?
Well, I'm very excited. I'm very excited. It has been a volatile time for cryptocurrencies. Everything from, oh my God, China is banning Bitcoin, to Elon Musk tweeting stuff around cryptocurrencies. It affects the price of Bitcoin and thereby other cryptocurrencies as well. And even though that our business is not kind of tied up into the speculative aspects of, oh, what's going to happen tomorrow, we have our own token and we have our stable coin, and both of them are governed and regulated instruments. They're not supposed to be tied to the volatility of Bitcoin. But when markets are volatile, investors are scared. And of course, investors are more careful to invest in a downward going market. And I think that, well, we're very excited. We're very happy that we managed to close this sale. And I think that we did so because of the hard work behind our team, because in all honesty, we had to figure out how we then managed to raise the amount of money that we wanted to raise when, the world of blockchain and crypto was so volatile. We couldn't just sell to crypto people who suddenly didn't have a lot of money. So Arise put out a strategy on what kind of investors we wanted, how we would reach them. And now, fortunately, we're very happy that we got a big group of investors from an investor group called the Keystones Network, very high-level individuals that have chose to join Arise and invest in Arise. And now our shareholder registry is filled with even more capable people than it was before. So the fact that we're fully funded in a downward going market, that was quite hard. And also the impressive thing is that it was mostly tokens that we sold. We sold 5-part tokens, 1-part equity, Rise tokens, which is an STO token that we are going to issue on STO exchanges. So
okay, how do you feel? How do you think? How far do you think this can take a rise? Having raised this fund, and it's what you've been working for quite some time now. How far do you think this fundraise can take a rise?
This fundraise will help us execute on 2 important deliverables. Our own Rise token will be listed on STO exchanges in the very short term, and we will launch our first product, which will be an exchange-traded stablecoin in partnership with an existing bank. So that is the most important thing that we can do in the short term, because I keep going back to Tether. The fact that they're holding $64 billion in a solvency model, which is backed less than 3% by cash, I must admit is kind of ridiculous. So the markets need something like a full reserve stablecoin, which is what we will launch with the funding that we have now gotten in place.
Comfortable you may feel, how comfortable are you? Who are your major investors? Do you feel comfortable in saying that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's no secret. We actually just released a press release today, kind of shedding some light on it, and we have some quotes from some of the investors who have said some very nice things. But there is an investor group, a Danish one called Keystones, and this is the second time that we get investments from members of the Keystones network. So it is a fairly large group of individuals with a special and keen interest in fintech and blockchain. And after quite intense due diligence and a lot of meetings, we managed to close down this round where 50% of the funding came from existing shareholders who invested already back in 2017 for the first time, and the rest of the 50% came from this Keystones network. Now in next time we raise funds, it's on a much larger scale, as we have a $14 million Series A, which is a different kind of investors and different kinds of investors that we're looking for that. But that is for a major scalability plan, as well as the acquisition of our own banking licenses and own infrastructure. But that's for a bit longer term.
Yeah, thank you very much. Congratulations on that. And in case you're just joining us, this is CNE TV interview session with Jack Nikogosian, CEO Arise. Arise just recently raised almost $1 million in a fundraising. So we'll go for a short break. When we return, I will continue with my questions. We'll be right back.
CNE TV, the first and leading 24/7 live broadcasting blockchain, cryptocurrency, and fintech TV application. On our mobile app, you have access to our latest news updates ranging from esports, fintech, iGaming, blockchain, cryptocurrency, and artificial intelligence. We bring to you interviews, analyses, cryptocurrencies, market reviews, and live events. Download our app today from your iOS or Google Play Store or on our website at cnetv.io. CNE TV, objectivity is our watchword.
Welcome back. It's still CNE TV interview session. So we've been discussing with Jack Nikogosian, CEO Arise, on the recent fundraising event, which they raised almost $1 million. So Jack, let me hear from you once again. How do you see the launching? You are launching out with this fund to advance your project. Most especially look at the state of cryptocurrency market. There's a little uncertainty, if not much uncertainty. Do you think is the right timing for you to launch out?
I think that's a very good question, and I do think it's the right timing. I think that a few years back when Arise started, we were too early. Every time we wanted to get a conversation going with a potential partner or a potential regulator, it was very difficult to get any message across. We were too early, but now the landscape has changed dramatically. Whereas having a relationship with big partners like we do with IBM or Onfido or other service providers is becoming much more streamlined and seamless. They are the ecosystem is evolving. It is in its entirety, and I think that with the Rise token being a regulated security instrument, being listed on the first UK regulated STO exchange, which is Artrax, and we have a pre-listing agreement with them, paired with our stablecoin issued on regulated cryptocurrency exchanges with a solvency model with 100% backing, again, through an existing partner bank and audited through trusted auditors. That is something that the ecosystem needs today. We can't be too soon when the fact of the matter is that Tether, as I mentioned now the third time in this interview, has a solvency model which is ridiculous, right? So not only is the ecosystem ready now, I think that it's almost a little bit too late. And well, not for Arise, but in a sense for newcomers to start intervening. We have interesting stable coins and we have interesting competitors, but with the model that Arise has been bringing, with our full reserve model, with the regulated securities token, I think the timing couldn't be better, in all honesty, now and over the next year or so. I
Can you
don't
hear me?
know. Yeah, now you're back.
Okay.
Now I can hear you.
Okay, no problem. Let me take, we're about concluding. Let me take some of the questions that I saw here. There are some questions dropping here. Maria is asking, nice interview session. However, I would like to know what Judge feel about the African ecosystem. Aside this, Nigeria has over $37 million in P2P in the month of July. What do you think about it?
I think that for Arise, the focus on financial inclusion is important. But there is another thing which is really interesting about various countries in Africa, is that they're actually sometimes more financially included than, for example, people in the US. If we look at the popularity behind M-Pesa, and if we look at the kind of push that there is towards digitization in countries around Africa, I think that's really, really impressive. And I think that if the West doesn't kind of up their game, there is a chance that, you know, our solutions that we will use in the future might sprung up from Safaricom or from some company in Nigeria or in Kenya. And I think that's beautiful. We're seeing so much innovation. And rather than trying to fight that, Arise has an opinion that we should support that. So we are building community relationships with, you know, we're members of the programs in the Philippines and in Armenia, not specifically with any association in any country in Africa yet, but there is definitely a strategy towards that. And we have, through our relationship with the Copenhagen FinTech, actually had the pleasure of meeting the central bank governor of Kenya and exploring various scenarios and ideas. And we have a strategy towards various markets and currencies in Africa. So I think that it's extremely interesting. And I think that when you don't have to start from zero, when you don't have to start by putting copper wires into the sole so you can get a credit card terminal in your shop, like when you can just start with M-Pesa, that's amazing. You don't have to start with legacy infrastructure. And that's what we're seeing in countries that don't have a truly digitized society yet. They can actually look onto new platforms to begin with, rather than trying to build a bank as we have it in the West or in Europe or in the US. They can start on new platforms, and that amazes me. So I'm very positive. I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, I'm so excited about the answers and your preparedness about African market. It's like you you are already ready for this question. Thank you very much. Before we draw the curtain on today's episode of CNE TV interview session, I would like to get your closing remark.
My closing remark would be that I'm very impressed by you guys. I've been following how you guys grew your own business and this channel of yours, and I think it's really, really impressive. I don't remember when the first time was when you and I got to talk and got to know each other, and I think that it's you guys, what you have been building here is it shows empowerment, and it shows innovation and strength, and I think it's an amazing business that you're building and growing. And I'm very happy to have known you from early days, and you can say the same with me. When we launched, you can say that you actually knew Arise from these very early days. So I love the startup mindset and entrepreneurial spirit, and that's what Arise is all about. So if any entrepreneurs, any thinkers are out there, look on our website where you can find our academy and you can find our ambassador programs and our channels. We got a lot of cool stuff going on, and it's only becoming bigger and bigger. So we would love to have a conversation going if anyone thinks this is interesting. We're also very interested in finding interesting writers that can communicate in various languages and markets. So please look at who we are, apply internships with us. We've had interns all over the world. And once again, guys, congrats on the great success of your product and your channel here.
You have heard it from him, and thank you very much for that kind words from you. I really appreciate. I also congratulate you once again on this achievement, and thank you very much for joining us today on CNE TV interview session.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye, guys.
Okay, thank you, our audience. We'll see you some other time. Bye for now.
CNE TV, the first and leading 24/7 live broadcasting blockchain, cryptocurrency and fintech TV application. On our mobile app, you have access to our latest news updates ranging from esports, fintech, iGaming, blockchain, cryptocurrency and artificial intelligence. We bring to you interviews, analyses, cryptocurrencies, market reviews and live events. Download our app today from your iOS or Google Play Store or on our website at cnetv.io. CNE TV, objectivity is our watchword.